what are some ways that you can keep communication open and keep them close? And I think that's probably the most useful thing that I can provide is maybe some tactics of how to keep it close and keep the communications line open. The first thing that I'd have to say is to listen. So listen to them, and kids don't come out usually and say what's going on with them. So you need to really listen, which means looking at their body language and listen for when they need assistance. How many people have told your child, anything you want to come and tell me? Anytime that you want to talk, I'm here for you to talk. Okay, here's how they do it usually. You got any food in the fridge? Yeah, okay. Usually kids don't come up and say, I need to talk to you. Usually they check to see if you're available. They may ask about food. They may ask about having some sort of choice, or they may ask anything to see if you're available. And if we as parents dismiss it and say, yeah, help yourself, I'm over here doing something. And if they don't feel like that we are available, they're not going to think that we're available. So here's a couple things that you can do. Also, I want to say that a lot of times kids don't like to say they need to talk. Anybody have those people in their house? Anybody that way themselves? Okay. It's hard to say, I need help, I need to talk. Here's something that you could do. You could hang something up by your door or in a hallway, and it could be some sort of charm. It could be a sock. It could be a key. And when they need to talk, they take it down, and they put it in their pocket. And then you notice that it's not there, and then you can initiate it. For some kids, it feels better if the parent initiates it rather than them initiating it. Okay. Here's another thing you can do. Don't sweat the small stuff. Okay. Little arguments. If you have constant little arguments, they feel like they're just constantly being yelled at. It is important that they learn to be safe. It's important that they call you if they're at an environment and somebody is having an unsafe, risky behavior. It is not as important if their dirty socks are on the floor and not in the clothes basket. If they constantly feel like they're just being yelled at and yelled at and yelled at, they're going to have a harder time receiving your information, because to them it sounds like Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Right? Okay. Another thing that you can do, let's see, I got to make sure I hit them all. Teach respect and be respectful. Use teachable moments. Okay, this is something that in the last audience we had a daycare worker, and I had heard something that he had said before, that he has parents who come in and they're like this, get your coat, you got it? Okay, let's go. They don't even look at the child. If we are constantly paying attention to a computer or to a phone and we're not engaged with our child, we're not engaged in communication, they're not going to learn to do that either. They think it's completely respectable to be talking to somebody and doing something else at the same time. We need to teach them to have behaviors that have value and have respect. One thing that helps children often avoid high-risk behaviors that have high consequences is to get them emotionally involved in something. You make opportunities for them to become emotionally involved in something, because then it's not just themselves that they're risking, but it's their future. So getting them involved in education, getting them involved in church, getting them involved in some sort of community group or some sort of civic responsibility gives them that opportunity to have something that's not worth it. Okay. Teachable moments rather than long conversations. Okay, son, we're going to sit down here for an hour and a half and I'm going to lecture to you. Doesn't usually work very well. Teachable moments. If you see something in the community, if you see something at the grocery store, if you're driving and you see some sort of action, if there's something on television, 30, 45 seconds, teachable moment. Okay, rather than long lectures. Get them involved. I already said that. Last thing I would say is sometimes the best way to communicate with your child is the way that your child communicates. And you need to ask them. Okay? This is something I already see with my 6-year-old, that at the beginning of the year, she would want me to walk her up to school, and she'd kiss me before I left. And now she doesn't really want to kiss me very much. And sometimes she'll run out and kiss me as I'm leaving because she still wants to, but she doesn't want to in front of everybody. And adolescents really display that. You give them a hug, and they're like, why are you hugging me? You want to show affection, and they don't want to receive it in the same way that they did when you nurtured them, because they're preparing to be an adult. And so ask them. I really want to be able to show my affection to you because that's important to me, and I want you to receive my love. I need to know how you'll accept it. Okay? I really want you to talk to me about this, and I really want to be able to tell you when I need to say something. I need to know how to do that. So sometimes if we've tried certain ways, just ask them.